What's up, everybody? It's Danny Gallows, and welcome to Danny Gallows Extreme YouTube channel. Extreme! Yeah, I'm awesome. I'm here to talk about awesome things, powerful things. Woo! Extreme! Oh, well, I hope you guys are ready for some extreme content today. Some truly badass, awesome, amazing, manly, meaty content today. Because on today's video, it's all gonna be about pain, man. You know we love pain on this channel. You remember what the spider monkey did? Remember what he did? Yeah, he did that. Was it a wildercat, bobcat? I'm from Maine. I don't care. Because whatever it was extreme. And I love extreme stunts. I love extreme pain. I love extreme things. Being loud. Ah! So, I bet you guys were thinking right now, what's he got in store for us today? Well, I'll tell you guys without any further delay. Today, I'm gonna be hitting myself in the knee with a hammer. Woo! Extreme! Woo! Alright guys, here we are. This might as well be the execution table for today, for our extreme content today. You know it, guys. Now it's time to smash myself in the knee with a hammer. Woo! Because we're all about crazy content. I'm a crazy dude. Alright, let's get it out. Now, ooh, look at that beautiful leg. It's supposed to be all bloody and bruised about. Don't you know? Woo! Alright, extreme! Alright, here we go. There's my beautiful knee. Now, as you guys know, it only takes one thrust to achieve the hammer slam. So let's do it! Woo! I'm a crazy dude! It's extreme! Oh! Extreme! Oh, extreme pain! Oh, extreme pain! Damn! Boo, heathen! Sorry.
Well, what the hell was that? I can see you're obviously still demented. You should cut down on the sugar. You ever consider that?
Yep, that's right, and it's getting worse.
Well, there's one thing we can agree on at least. What in the name of good golden fluffy socks do you think you're doing?
What do you mean? You heard the bad news. Age of Resistance isn't coming back for years, probably. I have to do something. I have to stay relevant on YouTube somehow.
Oh, please! Your channel is weak because of you!
Shut up. I'm the man and you know it.
The only thing I know is that I shall put a hole in your sock!
You wouldn't dare.
I live my entire life as a dare, because I, in fact, am daring. Yes! I, Sockula, of the Sockmire Empire, valiant warrior of the green lands!
Yeah. Save me the spiel, man. We've all heard it before. We all know who you are, okay? Look, just go away if you have nothing productive to say, okay?
Oh, but I in fact do have some advice for you. You know what your channel needs? Your channel needs more of me, Sockula. That's right. I can be a Skeksis. I can. Yes, I could be Skek Sock. Ha! Get it? Skek Sock. You hear me, Henson Company? Skek Sock.
All right then, Skek Sock. You ready to go do this Q&A?
I'm not doing a damn thing with you. You are on your own, sir.
Well, I'm off then. Don't steal anything while I'm in there. What's up, Dreamfasters? It is me, Danny Gallows, aka Skek Dude, of course. And welcome to what used to be called Studio Gallows, what used to be called Short Stormtrooper, what used to be called Dream Fast with Me. No, I'm just kidding. It's still called Dream Fast with Me. It took us forever to build this brand and this channel and this community, so we're not going away. Unless I rename the channel For Thraw, which is also a great name. but I don't know. I haven't yet decided yet. We're still in a kind of a weird process right now. But yeah, this is my little corner of the studio. This is where the magic happens, right here, where I make all my videos. And usually, I just rewrite my questions on my notebook, and I go stand in like a cool corner of my room or something like that. But I figured, no, like, just sit at my desk where I do all my work anyway, and I'll just read your questions off from here, from my computer. Yeah, so let's get to it. Let's get to your questions. One of my favorite parts and favorite aspects of this channel and this community is getting to interact with you guys like this on my Q&As. And also, you guys can interact with me anytime you want over on Twitter, at DreamFastMe. Please come over there, send me a message, send me a tweet. That's where I love to interact with all you guys too. And also on Instagram at Danny Gallows. That's my Instagram. That's basically like my vlog channel. So please come follow me over there if you guys haven't already, because it's even more magical over there. Alright, so let's get to your questions, guys. I got a lot of good questions. I was just kind of, reading through them just briefly. And yeah, you guys always leave the best questions. So without further ado, because ado is terrible, let's get to your glorious questions here. So the first one comes from Marcus Blackwell. And they ask, have you ever actually thought about applying for a job at the Henson Company? Your voice talents truly show you're capable. Wow, Marcus, thank you so much. That's awesome. That's actually the first comment I've ever received about voice acting. Voice acting was never something that I ever took seriously, not because I wouldn't have a passion for it. But yeah, I just never really considered it before. It's kind of new to me, voice acting. I kind of do things because just out of necessity. There's no one else around that's doing this channel. It's only me here. So anytime I need to do something, whether it's music or script writing, coming up with ideas, voice acting, all the production stuff is completely up to me. It's just me doing this channel. So I only voice acted because it was an idea. I said, okay, I can voice act for Sockshula because obviously I'm doing the puppet. And voice acting for Roundup just came, again, like out of necessity. I was just like, this would be really, really cool to have a voice for Roundup, like do like a little feature at the beginning of the video where it sounds like Roundup is talking, so I just did it. I do everything randomly offhand and just see what I'm good at, so. But as far as applying for the job, I don't know, the Henson Company has got a lot of weird rules right now. A lot of kind of like height restrictions and stuff like that, and kind of weird regulations. So I'm not sure if this is the right time for me to apply at the Henson Company, but you never know. I could definitely drop off a resume. I mean, it wouldn't hurt, right? I've got this entire community behind me, and from what I've been reading here in the comments, it seems like you guys really like the Sockshula skit. So you never know. I could drop off could drop off an application at some point. I'll definitely keep that in mind. But thank you, Marcus, so much. That was an awesome comment. I mean, seriously, that makes my day. So thank you very much. Our next comment up here is from Twilight Jester. And you guys always get the most creative names on here. I love reading through these names too. I don't know how you guys come up with them, but they're super creative. And they ask, do you think that Netflix will ever make the second season of Dark Crystal Age of Resistance in the future? Yeah, the million-dollar question right now, right? But here's the thing, yes, I do still think Season 2 is coming. Even with my most recent video and that, bad news that we got, I really do think it's coming. I mean, you hear in the interview, she says that they are definitely returning to the world of Age of Resistance someday. So it's basically a confirmation that it is going to return. It's just that it's probably not going to be for years, guys. I mean, that's what it sounds like right now, is it's not going to be for years. So don't get your hopes up that it's anytime soon. That's all I'm saying. The next question here, I got two questions here. From Sparkle Spartan. Lots of meaty comments here, so let's get through this here. Do you think that Celadon should have died instead of Tavra? I love Tavra, she was so brave and noble, and Celadon was a beach. I love that word replacement, that's awesome. But she sort of lived on through the little spitter, yeah, that's true. But maybe leaving Celadon alive will allow the character development in her to become actually good, so that she can be a good Madra, and leave Brea to keep adventuring and learning, because Tavern never wanted to be Madra, and she died nobly. Yeah, that's true. I think the thing that a lot of people don't understand about Celadon is that Celadon was left alive because everybody hated her. That was the point. That was the point, is that you need that kind of dark, troubled character in order to do a redemption arc, or maybe she just falls back to where she was before, which I even think would be more interesting. See, I've often thought that they left Celadon alive to have this brief redemption. It could have been something that they were saving for season 2 and they crammed into season 1, I don't know, but I think that they left a brief redemption arc in there so that maybe she could fall back. You see, like, everything is good, finally. She has her little redemption at the end of Age of Resistance season 1, but then all of a sudden she starts to get evil again, and she starts falling back on her old ways. That would be even more interesting, so I think that would be cool. And yeah, definitely, leaving Brea's character open for adventuring, because that's what she wants to do. I see Brea as kind of like, road scholar, right? It's like she's an adventurer. She goes out there and she uncovers the mysteries and the secrets and all the hidden information of Thra by going out there and adventuring. That I would like to see from her character, definitely. Let's see here. And then Sparkle Spartan also asks, have you read all of the books, J.M. Lee's book series? And if so, which one is your favorite? Which one is the most telling? I think that Shadows of the Dark Crystal has a lot to say because you see much more into the darkened heart of Thra. Yeah, definitely true. Shadows has a lot of good information, but if I were to pick a favorite, it would definitely have to be probably Tides of the Dark Crystal. Flames is good too, but Tides of the Dark Crystal, the introduction of Skeksaw, the introduction of basically the Siphon pirate life, that was my inspiration for my own Dark Crystal series, Siphon Charms. I loved the whole pirate aspect, the Sifa culture with the pirate culture, ships and sailing, and the whole dynamic. It's a brand new dynamic. The Sifa culture was a brand new dynamic that we've never seen on Thra before, and I think it's endlessly fascinating. I would love to delve deeper into that, and it was again, it was a reason why I started writing Siphon Charms, was to delve deeper into that pirate aspect of the Dark Crystal universe. And last question from Sparkle Spartan. They ask, if you could cosplay as one character from the entire franchise, what would that be? I was just talking about the height restrictions with the Henson Company, right? Like, I don't think I'd work really well cosplaying as any character. I could cosplay as like the tallest Rian in the world, the tallest Hup in the world. That would be really funny cosplay, actually. Could you guys imagine me? I'm 6'5", like 220 pounds. You know what I'm saying? It's like or at least maybe I'm like 200 pounds. I don't know. I lost some weight. At least I think I have. Whoops, no, I haven't. I'm so fat. Anyway, but yeah, can you guys imagine me dressed up as Hup? This like super tall, skinny Hup would be a pretty funny cosplay. But I suppose I could cosplay as one of the Skeksis though. I could have someone build me a Skeksis costume. And I would definitely be Skekshod. You got to give Skekshod some representation here. You know what I'm saying? So someone out there, build me a super detailed Skekshod costume, and I'll go cosplay at the next event, whenever there is the next Dark Crystal conjunction. Hopefully it'll be soon. Next question up here today is from K-Pop Anime 14. I know you. You've been a fan of this channel for a long time. Thank you so much. You leave a question at like every single one of my Q&As, so I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. They ask, what do you think the Henson Company is planning to do with the series in the future? Man, I love talking about this. I could literally talk about this for hours, and maybe I will. Maybe I will make a video about it soon. In the future, I know the Henson Company has got a lot of different projects going on right now, but in terms of the Dark Crystal, Lisa Henson did mention at one point that they were considering doing other aspects and other timelines of the Dark Crystal universe. And as we know, we've got, there's a comic series in the future, The Power of the Dark Crystal, Beneath the Dark Crystal, which takes place after the movie. the original movie, and it talks about it. You know, Jen and Kira are older now. The Gelfling have been repopulated. Jen and Kira are basically like the emperor and empress, and there's a new faction that is controlling the crystal, and now the Gelfling have become like the Skeksis. So I think that would be an interesting dynamic that we've never seen before, kind of the Gelfling versus the Gelfling, feuding factions within the kingdom, with now the Gelfling abusing the crystal, the power of the crystal, and also the Firelings would be a fascinating aspect to pick up on. And you know, if you can't do it with puppets, just do it in like an anime style, like Japanese animation, or maybe create a new studio that does like Don Bluth style animation. I think something like the Firelings would be perfect for something like a Don Bluth style animation, or even anime as well. But the Firelings I would definitely like to see, because not only are they a really, really cool character design, but the Firelings have a really fascinating history too, with Chal and the Deucin. And if you guys don't know about that, read up on it. It's absolutely fascinating. There's a lot of mythology there to cover, so definitely the Firelings could be a possibility. Anything in the future, and then you could also do something set before Age of Resistance. They could continue Age of Resistance in comic books and in animation. Again, from that recent interview that we just had, the one that I featured on my last video, again, she mentioned that they are doing books. We do have more books, more graphic novels, more comics to look forward to. They are doing that stuff in the future, so we can look forward to that. We just don't know what exactly they'll be about. But there's all different areas on the timeline you could touch. They can literally do anything. But for me personally, definitely the Firelings would be really, really fascinating to see, because, like I said, we get to touch on all that good mythology as well as a cool story. So that'd be really, really cool to see. Garrett Norid asked, will you ever talk about the sequel comics? Oh, look at that. I was just talking about that. Will I ever talk about the sequel comics, Power of the Dark Crystal and Beneath the Dark Crystal? Side note, I've just gotten started on reading them, and man, those books are so good. Yeah, they do have some fascinating storylines. The only part that I don't like about that series is the Skeksis and the Uru returning. I think that was a horrible, horrible storytelling aspect, and if I was in charge of that franchise, if I was running the production on that franchise, I would not include that part of the story. I'm sorry, you know, I know it's part of everybody's mythology for anybody who reads those books, but no. Skeksis and the Uru don't return. The whole, just like I was talking about, the most fascinating aspect would be to see Gelfling versus Gelfling, the feuding factions within the kingdom, because that's something we've never seen before. Bringing the Skeksis and the Uru back, not only does it take away all the magic of the end of the movie, but we're just doing the same thing we did before. We've already seen the Skeksis versus the Uru with the Gelfling, the whole triangle, right? It's like we don't need that anymore. We need to see something new. So I would take that aspect out. But in terms of like talking about the books and the comics and stuff, I don't really do that here on this channel. That's more Jason and Dark Crystal conjunction, although I don't know where he's been. He's been on a long hiatus for a long time. But Dark Crystal conjunction talks about all the books and the comics, the graphic novels, the lore and stuff like that. This channel here was created for Age of Resistance. It was created around the TV show to discuss the theories, the mythology, the lore, and everything pertaining to the show. So maybe there's a possibility that I could talk about them in the future, but I don't really do the books. I do more the movies, the movie and the TV show and stuff like that, and the basic mythology around the channel. But, you know, we'll see. It's always a possibility. Alright, next question up today. Or should I say, wow, 10 questions here today from Panda Theorist. So, you know, they say that I don't have to answer all of them, but yeah, sure, why not? Let's answer all of them. I'll just kind of fire through them kind of quick. So the first question from Panda Theorist, they say, Soxula is great, hilarious, and I really needed that today. Thank you, Danny Gallows. Is it scripted or improv? Made my day either way. Thank you so much once again for all the Soxula love. Again, I wasn't really sure about doing that, but apparently you guys really like it, so yeah, you know, we'll keep it going. Maybe we'll make it a regular aspect of the channel, but thank you so much.
Is it scripted or improv? It was improv mostly. Most of you guys don't know this, but I actually grew up thespian. I was in all the plays and productions that all of my schools did. Grade school, middle school, high school. I was in all the plays and productions, so I took a lot of drama classes. I took a lot of improv classes. So it's just kind of something that I can do well is, I have a basic idea for what I want to do, and then I just kind of turn the camera on and go, like I'm doing right now. That's basically the same thing. Second question, hypothetically, if you were sent to Thra right now as a human, say a couple of Unum before Age of Resistance, what would you do? Who would you try to meet? Would you try to save the Gelfling? I would travel. If I was transported to the world of Thra, I'd be very, very careful not to step on any Gelfling. But yeah, I would definitely travel a lot. I would explore the world, and I would definitely try to meet Agra. I want to see that observatory. I want to learn some wisdom from Agra. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that'd be really, really cool. And would I try to save the Gelfling? No. I mean, if we've learned anything from watching fantasy movies, you don't mess with the prophecy. You gotta let people do their own thing. You gotta let them fight their own battles, because that is the point of prophecies. Third question is, which castle Skeksis or Maudra do you most align with politically or morally? Wow, what a great question. Well, let's see. I'm a dark dude, so I align more with the Skeksis. But who I align with most is the Slave Master, obviously. No, yeah, but for real, I really do. No, but for real, Skeksa, the Mariner, definitely. Because I'm not, I don't want to be at the castle. I don't follow politics in real life or in the world of Thra, so I would definitely be out on the ocean doing my own thing. So Skeksa the Mariner, her independence definitely is what I align with most. Will the skits come back is the fourth question. I really like them. Yeah, they could be definitely an aspect of this channel, for sure. We'll see how that works out in the future, but yeah. The fifth question, if you could replace any character in the show with one from the book or a comic series, who would it be and why? No one. No, I liked all the characters in the show. This is a question that I'm asked a lot. People always ask me, like, do you have a least favorite character in Age of Resistance? No. I think every character is perfect. I wouldn't replace them. I only want to see more characters added to the show. That's what I want to see. Number 6. If you could take one thing from Thra home, including objects or animals, what would you take? Man, another great question. What would I take? Probably a vial of essence, because I want to try that stuff. And also Erdroop berries, because, yeah, go to the world of Thra. Millions of artifacts to choose from. What do I grab? Hallucinogens and alcohol, right? That's the kind of guy I am. That's what I do. Number 7 is, what's your favorite part of the world building of the show? The clans, magic symbols, guards, podlings, in different roles, etc. You know what my favorite part of all of that was? All of that. I loved that they did it in the first place. I mean, I'm sure most of you guys out there have watched The Crystal Calls, the documentary that they have on Netflix, and the amount of detail that they went into in the show, I always think of, the first thing I think of whenever I think of The Crystal Calls documentary is the book that was made. They actually made Brea's notebook. Now, you don't need to do that. It's a prop. It's easily kind of smoke and mirrors when you do all your camera work. You don't have to make a notebook, right? You don't actually have to make one, but they did. They made an actual notebook to feature in the show. It's a physical object that you can pick up. That's my favorite part. It's not necessarily the magic inside the world of Thra and inside the Age of Resistance. It's the magic outside the show, right? It's all of that love and that passion and that magic that they put into the show to make it in the first place. That's my favorite aspect of it. Number 8, if you could give one piece of advice to either the Uru, Podlings, or Gelfling in the show, what would it be? Where do you come up with all these questions? I need like an hour to contemplate all these questions. But, jeez, one piece of advice to the Uru, the Podling, or the Gelfling in the show. You know what? That's better a question for you guys. In the comments down below, leave your questions. What do you guys think? One piece of advice to either the guru, the guru, the Uru, the Podlings, or the Gelfling in the show, what would it be? What would you guys say to them? You know, what kind of advice would you give them? Maybe a simple piece of advice would be run in any direction you can, to any land you can, because it's about to go down. Number 9, I saw you had Star Wars stuff in the video. Yep, in the background, right over there on the wall, I have a Star Wars collection. Would you rather be transported to the world of Thra or to the Star Wars universe? You still have to be human in both. Yeah, you know, I love the Dark Crystal, I love Thra. You guys know that, you guys are well aware of that. But if I had to choose between those two, Star Wars universe, man. I gotta go with the Star Wars universe. Are you kidding me? Touring all the places in the original trilogy? I would do the whole Han Solo thing, you know. I would start small, I would get a ship and just start exploring the galaxy and meeting people and putting a crew together, and then I would get a bigger ship and a bigger crew, do the whole One Piece thing, you know what I'm saying, except in the Star Wars universe. I'd have my own kind of gang, my own crew going on. And we would just explore. I would hunt relics and artifacts and, you know, just see the wondrous sights of the galaxy and be a good soul, a good companion to people, build friendships, build camaraderies, you know, go around and explore and give back to the world by searching for relics and putting them in museums and saving people, answering distress calls, you know, dedicating myself to the Sith and living a life of evil, you know, just all the simple stuff that I'd like to do. Number 10 is, what inspired you to be a DJ, make this channel, and mix your music with Thra? Music has always been a huge aspect of my life. I've literally been in a band since like the I think the 6th grade was my earliest band. I've been playing music since the 4th grade. Not in band, not anything traditional. I was actually kicked out of band in middle school because I couldn't read music. I could play what everybody was playing, I just had to hear the song, and I could play what everybody was playing, but I can't read music, so I was kicked out of band. So music's always been a natural part of my life, so obviously I'd want to use my own music. I wouldn't want to use somebody else's music, not just for copyright reasons, but also just because I don't feel comfortable doing it. If I'm a musician, obviously I'm going to make my own music for my channel. I wouldn't go get somebody else's music to do it. So yeah. So thank you so much, Panda Theorist, for all those amazing questions. I'm not even upset that you asked so many questions because they were all so great. That was so much fun to answer all those questions. Skek Ok, the animator, you changed your name. Awesome, and thank you so much. You've been around this channel for a while. Always ask questions for my Q&As. Always so active on this channel. Thank you so much. And I hope you're still doing more animations because that animation you did for my anniversary video is so funny. So question from Skek Ok, the animator. Do you think there's going to be more light on some of the characters that were in the background? If so, which character do you think will get the most light? Yeah, I'm assuming that you mean the Age of Resistance, obviously, background characters. And anytime someone asks me this question, it's always the Skeksis. You know, the other Skeksis were mentioned when they're all about to go to war in the last episode. And they're contemplating, you know, like, who do we bring with us to assist us in this battle? And they're talking about the other Skeksis down at the castle. That's what I want to see. I want to see all of the Skeksis that we haven't seen in Age of Resistance come to the castle because I want to see who voice acts them. I want to see how they act, how they're depicted on camera, what their roles will be. And you know me, I'm a big Skek-Shock fan. Skek-Shock. Skek-Shock. There's a cool name for a Skeksis character. Yeah, lightning power. Alright, anyway, off on a tangent there. But yeah, Skek-Shod is who I want to see most brought into the mix because I think he's just an endlessly fascinating character. How does Skek-Shod is the treasurer? So how does that, you know, work? How will that be depicted? Will he still be a silent character? Will we hear him speak more with that stutter that he has? Will he be the new kind of, the character that's picked on by the Skeksis? The one that the scapegoat, the one that they always blame for things, right? The abused Skeksis, right? And I also want to see Skek Lee too, the satirist. I've always thought that they should bring like a heavy hitter in to voice the satirist, like someone like Jack Black or even like Jim Carrey would be really, really entertaining to see come in and voice Skek Lee. Because what a fascinating character that would be to see brought into the mix. Because that's a character that is, he's the clown, he's the jester, right? So how do the Skeksis use him? What are their interactions? What's his dynamic in the Skeksis group? So that would be fascinating to see too. But yeah, it's the Skeksis. I want to see all of the Skeksis come back into the mix. And so they're all together. We need to see them all together on screen, you know? All right, our next question up today is coming from Dakota Trow. I'm sorry, I'm an ignorant American. I'm sorry for butchering that name. I always butcher last names like that. But they ask, what is your favorite Thra animal? And what do you think of Ordon as a character? Favorite Thra animal has to be the Fizzgig, right? Just because we grew up with the Fizzgig. You know, any of us who watched the original film back in the 90s, for me, the Fizzgig was really the only animal featured besides the Landstrider. And Landstriders are really cool too. All the creatures of Thra have such cool designs, but the Fizzgig obviously, you know, are small, the classic small furry creature, but with that, you know, huge gaping mouth that has that evil edge to it, which I really like. But going outside of the regular animals, probably the Huyim, the fish, the colorful fish of the sigil animal of the Sifen culture. I love the design. If you've seen the design in the books, is really, really cool. And again, I love Sifen culture, so obviously I would love the Huyim as well. And what do I think of Ordon as a character? I think Ordon was a great character, one of the coolest characters in the show, and I'm so glad that they expanded on his character too in the comic books, because we got to see what an absolute legend Ordon is. And still is in Age of Resistance. I think he's a great character. Kind of underrated. Nobody really talks about him a lot, but definitely an underrated character. Awesome warrior. Awesome warrior. And great father, too. You know? Next question up today is from Kiki Cretion. Kiki Cretion. I think that's right. Oh boy, you guys are giving me some challenging names here. I hope I'm getting these right. That's not a question. They just say, this is Soxula's time, respect his time. That's right, guys. Don't ask any questions, don't say anything, don't act, don't speak, don't think. This is Soxula's time. It's always Soxula's time. This is my time now. This is my close-up. My close-up right now. Next comment up today is from the Dank Dark One. They say, congratulations, you mad lad. I love that term. Thanks for calling me a mad lad. I think that's the first time anybody's ever called me that, so congratulations to you. You reached another great milestone. Thank you for delving deep into the universe of Thra and the Dark Creature and teaching us all the lore. Well, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. It really means so much to me. Because, you know, I started this channel on a whim, really. You know, I like to tell the story that, you know, I saw Age of Resistance, and I was so blown away by the show because everything else that we'd been seeing up to that point was just utter crap. Movies and TV shows and everything, and I was just like, man, there's nothing good. And here comes Age of Resistance. And after the show, I looked on YouTube, and I couldn't find any channels that were like Dreamfast with me. I wanted to create a channel that was featuring, you know, like theories and biographies and different aspects of lore and what-if videos and just, you know, questions about the world of Thra. And Dark Crystal Conjunction was great, but he was covering more like the lore and the Henson Company and stuff like that, which is great. We need that. And of course you have Dark Crystal Podcast, which was doing all the interviews in the podcast. We need that also. But we needed something like Dreamfast with me. I wanted to create a channel like this, but I couldn't find it. So it's like, you know, like, why don't I just make a few videos? I know how to do that stuff. I've been doing YouTube for a while. Before Dreamfast with me, long ago, not that long ago, a few years ago, I was doing Star Wars theory. So I was doing similar videos to this. So I was like, well, why don't I just start creating some you know, stuff based around Age of Resistance because nobody else is doing videos like that, and bam, the channel just took off like a rocket, and here we are today. So I really appreciate those comments because although it started off on a whim, I ended up putting a lot of passion and hardcore dedication into it, so it really means a lot to me that you guys appreciate it. So thank you. Next question up is from Sagittarius Neptune. As each clan has an Al-Madra, does each of the clans also have an elder male like Ordon, Rakir, and Cadia that serve as teachers or lead male figures of their clan? That kind of act like the mother figures act like Madras act like mother figures, and the leading male figures act like father figures. Yeah, the Dusin have something like that in their Xerics. Their Xerics are all controlled, but I believe they're all male heads. They have 12 different Xerics that have male leaders. I could be wrong on that. They could change the mythology around to make some of the leaders female. But I believe they're all male, and I believe that the Dusin also have a group of male elders as well they're like a specific council of elders that deal with all of the different dynamics of the clan. So yeah, I think that most of the clans do have some form of leading male figures. It's just that we haven't really delved too far into that, aside from all the information that we get in the books and stuff like that. But yes, yeah, there's kind of an equal balance between the male and the female leaders. But the Madras of the clan are the absolute leaders. The Al-Madra covers everything, and the Madras are the absolute leaders, which means the highest ranking members of their clan. But they do all have male advisors. They have like male advisory figures as well. Dark Remnant says that Soctula is just Skekra and his new puppet. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, right? That's a big secret, guys. Like, it's not me, it's actually Skekra. I actually import all my videos, my Soctula videos from Skekra. That's the real deal, guys. Sorry to disappoint, but yeah, it's just one of Skekra's puppets. That's a good way for you guys to look at it. Headcanon. It's all about headcanon, guys. Mateen Bahadur says, love your videos. Thank you so much. I have a question for you. Do you think the other Skeksis, like Skek Tech, have their own chambers where they work? Yeah, that's an interesting question, isn't it? Because we only really see Skek Tech and his private chambers down below the castle in his lab. But how about the other Skeksis? Where do they go? Do they all have their own personal chambers? And I would assume definitely yes, because I mean, we've all seen how big that castle is, right? It's like, sure, they have their bathhouses and their the emperor's chambers and stuff like that, and musical chambers, the food hall where they eat, of course. But I would assume that they all have their own different rooms. They're all their different chambers as well, because the castle is, I mean, it's a very, very spacious place, obviously. And wouldn't it be fascinating? Wouldn't it be interesting to see inside all of those different Skeksis' bedrooms? I want to see what's in those bedrooms, man. You know, for all different kinds of reasons. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm joking. Joking. Alright, next question up today. From Alexandria Sebelos. I recognized your name as well. I hope I'm still not butchering your name. Which of the 7 clans do you think would be the most threatened by the sight of a human in Thra? That's a really fascinating question. Obviously, all of them. Everything, every creature, every being in Thra would be threatened by human beings. Even the Skeksis. Because the Skeksis... you know, even I'm a little bit taller than the tallest and biggest Skeksis. So even they would be threatened by the sight of a human. But which clan would be the most threatened by the sight of a human? I would say, well, probably the Groton. The Groton would be. I mean, imagine if a human comes crawling through one of the caves of Grot and into their sanctuary. I mean, you know what I'm talking. It would be like encountering Shelob from Lord of the Rings. You know, like this giant, human covered in mud and ash and in the darkness from crawling through all the tunnels, and you just come crawling out of the cave like a spider. Oh my God, that would be like a horror movie. So yeah, definitely the Groton. I'm trying to think of who would be the most fascinated by it. Probably the Sifa would be the most fascinated by seeing a human, and maybe the most welcoming, hopefully. I think so. I'm pretty sure the Sifa would be the most welcoming. Alright, next set of questions we have up here today. Looks like we have 3 questions here. Coming from Keith Feliday. Boy, you guys are giving me some challenging names, man. Why do you do this to me, man? Why do you do this to me? They say, all hail Soktula. That's right, all hail Soktula. Talk a little bit about the giveaway. Thank you for doing another Q&A. Dark Crystal is such an underappreciated franchise. Yes, it is. So coming from a younger fan to an older one, thank you for all your content and your channel. Thank you so much. Really, really good to see that all of the younger the younger audience is loving the Dark Crystal, because yeah, you know, it was made for the old school fans, the guys who saw it back in the 90s. So it's good to see so many young faces building this community now. We need more of that, so spread more of that love. So the first question is, if you were the person who was in charge of a possible season 2, don't tempt me. That's my dream. It's my dream. You hear me, Henson Company? It's my dream. I'm an independent writer. I've never been to college, but I'm an amazing person. I'm an amazing writer, and I'm an amazing content creator. Look at me. It's me. It's me. You see this 4th Raw t-shirt? Yeah, I did that. I'm writing Siphon Charms. I created this channel. I created this community. You see what a brilliant mind I have, Henson Company. Put me in charge of season 2. I'll do it. Just give me the money. Just give me the money. That's all I need. Give me a couple $1 million. That's all I need. And a plane ticket to Cuba. Anyway, question number 1. If you were the person who was in charge of a possible season 2 and other seasons in movies, what storylines would you like to explore and expand on? The very first thing, I've put out this tweet a couple of times, and maybe I'll make a video about it someday soon. But what I would do, definitely, the first thing I would do is I would make a trilogy, a movie trilogy about the creation myths. I would dedicate Creation Myths number 1 to its own movie. Creation Myths number 2, own movie. Number 3, own movie. And I would make a Dark Crystal trilogy. That's what we need right now. We need a movie trilogy based on the creation myths. There's so much lore, there's so much mythology, there is an endless amount of material just dripping off those pages. And it's in need of a trilogy. That's the first thing that I would do if I was in charge. Number 2, considering how much focus the Skeksis are given in both the franchise and the fandom, are there any ideas for non-Skeksis major villains you would love to see? Again, Gelfling versus Gelfling. Evil Gelfling characters is who I would like to see. And again, we could get that in Season 2. Maybe that was part of the idea for Season 2. We have the darkened Deet now, right? So maybe she's going to be, you know, the evil character in Age of Resistance Season 2, that she's going to create like an army of dark Gelfling. I'd like to see Gelfling versus Gelfling, evil Gelfling characters is who I'm really interested to see. That'd be really fascinating. And most importantly, how can we as an audience continue supporting Dark Crystal and hopefully convince Netflix or another streaming platform and the Henson Company to continue Age of Resistance and all of the series? You know, unfortunately, and I hate to say this, but there's not a lot we can do, guys. You know, the Henson Company is solely, fully in charge of everything going on with Age of Resistance and everything related to the Dark Crystal. We're going to get books, we're going to get graphic novels, we're going to get comics. She already said that. But in terms of it going to another streaming platform, probably not going to happen. In terms of it happening soon, not going to happen. But as a fan base, what we need to do is just stay passionate about it. That's the best thing we can do. Keep signing the petition. I'll find the petition and I'll link it down below. Keep signing the petition. Keep spreading the word. The best thing that we have as a community and as fans is word of mouth. As long as we keep introducing Dark Crystal and the Age of Resistance to a new audience, we will keep growing. Send them to this channel. I don't say that just to grow this channel, but this is the Dark Crystal community. This is the most popular Dark Crystal YouTube channel. So keep sending them here. Keep growing this community. The larger we grow here, like I always say, the harder it is for the Henson Company to ignore us. Because if they see that the fan base is continuing to grow, then they can't ignore us, because they're ignoring money. If they're ignoring this massive fan base, right? So just stay passionate about it. That's the most important thing we can do. Keep spreading the word and keep staying passionate about it and about the Dark Crystal. That's the best thing we can do. And, you know, it doesn't hurt to keep sending the Henson Company emails, right? The more people sending emails to the Henson Company, send them emails, tweet at them, bother them, pester them. right? Be annoying. We want season 2. We want season 2. We want season 2, right? It's like the more we stay vocal about it, the harder it is to ignore us. It's as simple as that. Oh, and they also say, by the way, love the ideas you bring up, and I really do think they could work. I recently watched your October 2019 Q&A, and hearing your idea about a prequel, a trilogy of movies, would be my dream come true. Yeah, exactly. I know, that's what I'm saying. A trilogy about the creation myths would be awesome. That'd be the best thing in the world. Next question here, JNVH. Do you think there will be an Age of Resistance Season 2? Now, obviously you guys are all expecting me to react like, oh my god, here's this question again. But here's the thing. Yes, I still say there will be an Age of Resistance Season 2. It's just not going to be for a long time. We did hear in that interview, she did say they are returning to the world of Thra someday. They do have plans in the future. They're not leaving it behind. They're not abandoning it. They are returning to the world of Thra. They are returning to Age of Resistance. It's just not going to be for a while. So yes, there absolutely will be a Season 2. Definitely. We just don't know when. Next question is from Kristen Myers. And they say, Sakshula, you are so funny in a comedy way. Well, good. I hope so, because that was the intent. Have you ever considered having your own YouTube channel that just has funny moments? I've tried it out before in the past. I actually used to do movie reviews on an old channel, and I used to do skits along with the movie reviews, but it never really went anywhere. So I wouldn't have my own channel. Like I was saying before in my last video, that might be something that I add to this channel. Sakshula skits could be like a regular thing. I could just do like funny skits. Again, like you saw at the beginning of this video, right? Another skit. I could just do more skits like that just in general. If you guys like skits, if you guys like my acting, my improv, my comedy kind of stuff like that, I could do like fantasy related skits or something like that, but definitely more Sakshula skits. Definitely, but it would be on this channel. I'd be doing it here on this channel. Daniel Torres says, best sock puppetry ever. Wow, thank you so much. Again, so much love for Sakshula. So much love for Sakshula. This is awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Next question is from Sam Stevenson. They ask, if you could experience the life of any Skeksis and then return to a normal time, who would it be? No question whatsoever. Oh, wait a minute. I was going to say Skekshod because then I could be the fly on the wall that everybody wants to be. Everybody wants to be Skekshod for a little while so they can, be in the background of all the conversations and all the happenings in the castle. But I was just thinking, probably Skekso. You know what I'm saying? Just to be treated like Emperor for a while would be really, really cool. So definitely either Skekso or Skekshod. Skekshod to be the fly on the wall. Skekso to be treated like an Emperor. Next question is Alex from Florida. A. Ooh, you're doing A's and B's instead of 1, 2, 3s. I like that. I like that. Question A. What made you decide to make a channel dedicated to the Dark Crystal? Yeah, this is a story that I've told a couple of times before. Dark Crystal was one of those movies that I grew up with as a child. As a child, growing up in the 80s and 90s was the best time to be a kid because we grew up with all the Don Bluth films. We grew up with all the dark fantasy, man. Secret of Nim, All Dogs Go to Heaven, Watership Down, The Neverending Story. Right? It's like we grew up with the dark fantasy, the essential dark fantasy. And the Dark Crystal was just the next film in the lineup. Every weekend, me and my mother, usually on Fridays and Saturdays, we would go get a pizza and we would rent a VHS because, yeah, a lot of you younger fans out there are probably looking at me like I got lobsters growing out of my ears. Yeah, they used to rent VHS tapes. We didn't have instant play stuff. We didn't have the internet back then. We had to go to shops and rent VHS tapes, rent them out and then rewind them and return them. And there was a VHS shop that was connected to a pizza shop. I have so many fond memories of that place. So we would go order a pizza, go pick out a VHS, and by the time we were done picking out the VHS tape, we would go back, pick up a pizza, and go back home. The Dark Crystal was just the next film in the lineup to be seen, along with all those great dark children's fantasy movies. And I was so affected by watching The Dark Crystal. I was just about as affected as by watching The Dark Crystal as I was with Star Wars. You know, so many vivid childhood memories stick with me. And so when I knew that Age of Resistance was coming out, I was like, oh, wow, you know, like, I can't believe it. Age of Resistance, they're making a sequel to The Dark Crystal, like a whole TV show, 10-hour-long episodes, like, this is going to be fantastic. And like I said, just, you know, before, a couple comments ago, I was so impacted by the show because it was one of the best things that I had ever seen in such a long time. I just had to make a channel. I was just so deeply impacted by the show that I just had to make it. And I didn't see any channels out there that were like Dreamfast with me, so I decided to create it myself, and here we are. The rest is history. So definitely a passion project. Our next question up today comes from Frank Frankly. Great name. They say, congrats on 10K. Thank you so much. And is Sockshula friends with Syphil and Ollie? Syphil and Ollie! Wow, I remember that show. Wow, that's old school, man. But yeah, I would assume that Sockshula knows Syphil and Ollie quite well. Wow, that just brought back a ton of like nostalgia for me. I totally forgot about that show until you brought it up. Man, yeah, you know, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, man, we had the best TV shows ever invented. Next question up here is from Riley Harrison. If we got another comic, what do you think it would be about? And are there any aspects of Thra you wish to see expanded on more? I kind of touched on these questions already, but I'll just briefly say, if they were to do another comic, I'm thinking that it might be a continuation of Age of Resistance, at least for now, that would be my best bet. Or it would take place before Age of Resistance, more prequel comics, or even before The Dark Crystal. We might get stuff like after the creation myths. Would be cool to see as well. Yeah, the Firelings after the creation myths, before Age of Resistance would be cool. But personally, I would like to see probably more stuff set before Age of Resistance, because there's so much to expand on there, so much mythology to expand on there before the show. Our next question up today is coming from a Storyteller of Thra. What's up, Storyteller of Thra? I know you well, my friend. Thank you for the question. They ask, if Roundup is still alive by the time of Age of Resistance, do you think he could have been helping the heroes of Thra all along in Season 1, or even tried to block their way home in some form, like he was always there in the shadows? Yeah, that's an interesting concept. It's a popular theory that's brought up in the Dark Crystal community all the time, whether Roundup is still alive, because we assume that he died at the end of Creation Myths, but we don't actually see him die. The story just ends. So someone could have saved him. He still definitely could be alive, and that would be interesting. It would be an interesting concept that if in Season 2, when Season 2 comes along, if the idea is introduced that Roundup has been helping him this entire time from behind the shadows. It would be a fascinating concept to bring into the story, and obviously everybody wants to see Roundup again, so definitely, yeah, I love that theory, and it'd be really cool to see it play out for sure. Yeah, definitely. Next couple of questions coming up today from Jackson Harzma, and they ask, if Season 2 will come out, what do you think about these three Skeksis, Skek-Ung, Skek-Na, and Skek-Shad? All three, in my opinion, have been abused or bent to the Emperor's will uniquely, yep, for sure. Skek-Shad was physically abused. Skek-Na lived in fear and isolation because he couldn't hide his nature to the Gelfling. Yeah, that's a very interesting perspective. And Skek-Ung gave his whole life to the honor and glory of Skek-So. So what roles would these Skeksis fill in Season 2 as the Emperor is slowly rotting away? Yeah, fascinating question. I think it's best left for a video because I need some more time to think about that stuff. Skek-Ung obviously would be taking over the role of Skek-Var. Skek-Na would be coming into his role taking people as slaves, because you gotta remember that Season 2 will be about the Gartham Wars, so we need Skek-Na to come in and take over the role as being the slave master, right? A self-explanatory role. And Skek-Shad will probably be the most fascinating character because he'll be in charge of being collecting all of the treasures, basically, Kind of like, when they're raiding Gelfling villages, he has to keep track of all of their treasure, all of their monetary value, but he's also going to be listening in from the shadows to all of the conversations. He's going to be the informant. He's going to be kind of like the spy, almost. So that'd be really interesting to see as well. And then the second part here, if the Firelings are in Season 2, how do you think they will be puppeted? Well, they won't be in Season 2 of Age of Resistance because that's much later on in the storyline. Much, much later on. The Firelings are way, way in the future of the Dark Crystal. But in terms of how they will be puppeteered, yeah, there's going to be a lot of advancements to puppeteering, I think, in the future, especially with the popularity of Age of Resistance. But being made of fire, the Firelings have like fire hair, and I think it would be really, really cool to see is if they had like small fans in the heads of the puppets and that were blowing upwards, so it gave like animation. These are spirit fingers, but it gave like animation to the hair. So like you have a fan blowing these tendrils up out of the head to give animation to the hair. All kinds of cool tricks like that you could do with puppeteering. But in terms of how they will be puppeteered, same way as all the puppets. I don't think anything will really change. Big Sarge just says, ha 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 ha. Well, thank you, Big Sarge. I'll take that as a compliment. I hope you're laughing at me and not at me. Next question up today is coming from Chopper OP, and they say, Mr. Soxula did our Earth own crystal, the massive blue ring-woody crystal holding more water than all world's oceans, located towards Earth's core, shatter you and 10,000 Emperor Dreamfast with me from each other. Yes? Alright, our next question up today is coming from Anika Jackson, and they ask, my question for the Q&A is, how can Jen and Kira communicate with each other while Jen was in the catacombs and Kira was getting drained? Yeah, that's another kind of weird question in the community, but very simply put, it's the force of Thra. They don't have to be, there's something special about them where they don't necessarily have to be dream fasting to be able to see each other's thoughts and feelings and stuff. That it's kind of just like Star Wars, right? Like, how do you explain things that you can't really explain in the world of Star Wars? It's the Force, right? It's the Force. Same way in the world of Thra. How do you explain those little details, those little weird details in the world of Thra? It's the force of Thra. It's the force of the crystal. They were in a desperate situation, so something desperately powerful happened to them, is the best way that I can kind of explain it. Another comment here from Kiki Cretion. They say, how do you even see Soxula? I can turn my head around backwards, like the Exorcist. I can contort my body like a gymnast. It's another hidden talent of mine that you guys don't know about. No, what I do is, I have the camera facing me, obviously. Well, like it is right now, the camera is facing me, and I have the puppet like this, and what I do is I sit underneath the camera, and I look at the screen, because I'm using a camcorder that has a screen that flips around to the front so I can see myself. I can see myself right now. Hi! I can see myself. Human beings never get tired of that. We never get tired of that. But anyway, yeah, this puppet's like this, and I'm underneath the camera looking up at the monitor with it tilted down. That's how I do it. The Dorunk, ha! Sounds like that kind of name. They say, Sock is definitely sus. Don't you ever do another Among Us reference here on this channel. Do you hear me? I know you hear me. Our next question up today is from Kit Kat Cineventure, another really cool name. My question is, what do you think of the fans' negativity towards Celadon? I noticed that most fans dislike her, like really dislike her, for the things that she did. And while I can't say she made the best decisions, this is precisely why I feel she's so important. Personally, I think she is a fascinating, morally complex character that the show really needed to be interesting, to show that not all Gelfling are good, perfect beings all the time. They're like us, flawed. Yeah, perfect observation. I don't even need to add anything to that. You said exactly what I believe, is that, you know, a lot of people, Celadon is a lot of Dark Crystal fans, you know, least favorite character. They really don't like her. They didn't want to see her redeemed. They hate her. But I think that she is a completely necessary character for all those reasons, because we need those dark, flawed characters in the show in order to give the characters context, and in order to give them character development, and in order to open up more branching storylines for the show. You need a character like that. So yeah, perfectly said. Perfectly said. Oh, they also say, anyway, way to go on 10,000 subs. I've been watching you since Age of Resistance was released. Thank you so much. Awesome. Always nice to meet an OG fan. Here's hoping we get some kind of continuation of the story. We definitely will. Don't worry about that. It's coming. Next question here is from Kazoo, and they ask, what's your favorite idea? Mine is being creative. Yeah. That's the best idea in the world, isn't it? But I've got something even better than that. You know what my favorite idea is? Being even more creative than anyone. That's my favorite idea. Our next comment up today is coming from Connor Quigley. And they say, that was extremely painful to watch. WTF are you doing, dude? And I mean, I know, Connor, I couldn't agree more, man. Soxrala is an evil dude. I mean, I'm assuming, obviously, you mean Soxrala's abuse of me. I mean, he went into my closet, not only went into my room, and went into my closet, stole my camera, and then started creating content and uploading his own material on my channel. One of the most painful things I've ever watched in my life. I mean, seriously, dude. Like, he has got some gall. He's got some gall, and I couldn't agree with you more. Super painful to watch. I'm sorry you guys had to experience that, but yeah, I mean, it's the Soxrala way. It's Soxrala's time. You got to give him his time, man, you know? But yeah, I mean, it's such a strange concept, really, to be holding a puppet show on a channel that, you know, talks about and features puppets. Super strange concept, right? I know, man. Crazy. Blue Glasses asks, will you make a Discord? I did have a Discord for a while. I've been contemplating bringing it back to life. I'm sure a couple of people may still use it, but I simply just don't have any time. With everything that I have going on right now, all of my creative projects and work, I just don't have time to hang out on Discord. But if other people want to hang out on it, I think I will revamp it and maybe permanently link it. So I'll look into that later today after I finish this video. Couple of comments that say, wow, and that was a terrible Chamberlain. Wow, we're at 30 this morning. Usually I can do a little bit better, but I won't attempt it again. And finally, our last comment for this Q&A, Vinny Carruthers says, congratulations on 10,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, my friend. Here is the question. Do you think that Skekshod and Skeklak ever fight over tithes? Well, yes, definitely. To answer your questions, yes, because as we know, Skekshod is the treasurer, and Skeklak, you know, is basically in charge of all the tithes. So I'm sure they fight over items and material all the time, without a doubt in my mind. I mean, it's the Skeksis, of course. They fight about everything. You know, that would be a really, really entertaining fight to watch, wouldn't it? So another aspect they should definitely bring in for Season 2, showing the Skeksis, and in particular Skekshod and Skeklak, fighting with each other would be really, really hilarious to see. But yeah, that's going to do it for all of your questions, guys. Thank you so much for all of you who left questions. You guys leave the best questions. I have so much fun answering them, seriously. I love these Q&As. I got to do them more often. But to do them more often, I got to have goals to reach. So obviously the next goal on this channel is going to be 15,000 subscribers. And as you guys know from my last video, you know, I'm going to be going on a bit of a hiatus after this. Not to worry, you know, I don't want you guys to panic about anything. I'm just going on a bit of a hiatus to kind of recharge my batteries a little bit, recenter myself. I've got a lot of things I'm focusing on right now. I'm working on a new chill hop album I just started on. I've got my debut rap album. Yeah, that's right, I rap. For a lot of you guys don't know, I've been doing a lot of different genres forever, but I'm experimenting with rap this year. And so I've got my debut rap LP coming out at the end of this month, so I'm putting basically all my focus into that right now. I've got a lot of books I'm writing. I'm designing a board game, putting a lot of focus on that right now. So, and again, if these are aspects that you guys want to see added into the channel, let me know. But after my brief little hiatus, I'm going to be coming back. I'm not stopping with the Dark Crystal videos. The Dark Crystal videos will still continue. All I was saying in that video is just that I'm trying to find more to add to the channel. I need more content to add to the Dark Crystal stuff. I'm going to be doing Labyrinth stuff. Still waiting on some news for the Labyrinth sequel. I don't know what's going on with that. Going to be doing some Labyrinth stuff. But yeah, you know, we're in a bit of kind of a transitional phase right now with the channel, trying to figure out what to do, what to add, what else you guys want to see with this channel. But for now, you know, continue to stay passionate, stay strong. Like I said, keep spreading the word. Keep pestering Netflix, keep pestering the Henson Company. Stay strong, stay passionate, build this community up. Our next goal is 15,000 subscribers. Come follow me over on Twitter, come follow me over on Instagram, and let's continue to build this community, because right now, with the show kind of, the show on a long hiatus for probably a few years, this channel has become, I mean, it will remain Dreamfast with me, but it has become more me, right? The emphasis is now more on me. It's Dreamfast me. Dreamfast Danny Gallows. So if you guys like me as a person and my creativity and this amazing brain that I have to offer the world, then definitely you know, continue to support me in all of my projects. You know, head over to YouTube. I have a YouTube channel for all of my rap music that I upload. I have a Skit Dude has his own channel. He's doing shows, chill hop shows, really creative shows all over there. Like I said, come follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I've got all kinds of cool stuff going on all the time over on those pages. And continue to build me. Right now, it's Danny Gallows. It's Dreamfast and Danny Gallows. But mostly Danny Gallows until the show comes back or until some Labyrinth stuff comes out. So if you guys like supporting me, please support me. Show your love and support in any way, shape, and form imaginable. But that's going to do it for this video, for this Q&A, guys. Thank you guys once again for staying so strong and passionate for Thraw, for Jim, and yeah. Now it's time to, well, continue life.
Ah, yes, yes! Nothing like a good bit of relaxation on a hot summer day. Oh yes, oh yes! And my faithful companion, Mighty Puff! Mighty Puff! Hey, good glorious, but ow! Ow! What? Ow! Get your claw out of my face! Get your claw out of my face! I came to pet you! Are you crazy? What's the matter with you? You're as crazy as your owner! My God! Oh, I got your belly! I got your belly! Ah. What's the matter with you? Why the long face? I haven't put a hole in your sock yet.
I don't know, it was just the way my video ended, you know. Got me right here. Time to continue life. Time to continue me.
I see. Yes. But Daddy, do you really think it's true? Do you really think this may be the end of Dreamfast with me?
Ends, beginnings, it's all the same.
But where will you go now?
Wherever God takes me. I forgot I live on the 4th floor. I can't go anywhere. But God has taken me to the deck. God has taken me to the deck.
Yes. Ah, yes. And here I shall contemplate life. Yes. The ocean. The ships that sail by. Where do they go? What direction do they go in? The compasses that they follow. The sun. The sun above, shining down in all glory. Ah, yes. Here I will decipher the clues of God. And I shall avail myself.
Yes, yes, be as powerful as your creator.
Why do you follow this man?
Decipher the puzzles of the sky and of the sun, and we shall live on in harmony, and I will discover the secrets and decipher the puzzles of the universe. I shall.